Most people think tax planning means what you do at the beginning of the year and then filing your taxes in April, but it's not. That's tax preparation. And knowing the difference can help you to save maybe thousands of dollars each and every year. So first things first, what exactly is tax planning? Tax planning is proactive in nature. It's looking forward. It's trying to understand what are the things you can do now, this year, and the next several years to try to minimize what you're paying in taxes to the IRS. Now, what do most people do? Most people do tax prep, tax filing. Go through the year, you get your tax forms at the end of the year, and you bring them to your CPA or your tax filing specialist, and you just sit there and pray to God, maybe they can find some little deduction that I didn't know about. What if instead you actually understood the different things you could do, and instead of hoping and praying, you actually did those things, moving forward to lower that bill? That's what tax planning is. It's a proactive strategy. There's a very simple analogy to explain it. Everybody's been there. You're driving down the road. This is my little pantomime driving a car. You see a cop. What do? You look at your speedometer. That's reactive in nature. What if instead you were already keeping an eye on how fast you were going? So when you see that cop, you just keep going. I'm fine. That's essentially what tax planning is. Keeping an eye on that speedometer. And when it comes to working with financial advisors, there's a gap for the most part. Why? The first thing is tax planning is additional work, and it's not part of our fiduciary obligation. So some advisors look at it and go, why would I be doing all this extra work for no real payoff? And on top of that, there's additional complexity. So they simply don't do it. And then we move on to CPAs and tax filing specialists. Do they do tax planning? Some of them maybe, but let's think about this for a second. Think about how busy the first part of the year is for CPAs and tax filers. It's insane. I know these people. They're working 60, 80-hour weeks, flying by the seat of their pants. People bring them their information, which honestly, that's the hardest part. Please do them all a favor. Get them your forms as soon as you can. And once they get them, they're trying to make sure everything's in line. They file everything correctly, and they send it along to the IRS, right? And you're happy. The problem is they don't have extra time to be sitting down with you and saying, hey, let me go through this with a fine-tooth comb. Let's just make sure you understand what's going on here. I'm not saying they don't explain things. I know they do. But they simply don't have time, especially at the beginning of the year, to probably go to the depth that you might want. Now, the rest of the year, sure, some of them do it. My experience has been a lot of them just don't. It's additional complexity. It's additional work to take on, and there's just not a payoff for it. Who does that stuff? Financial planners such as myself. There is a cohort of us out there who do everything we can to try to understand the tax code and partner with CPAs. I partner with a CPA right out my back door. It's amazing. Sit there, go through investment plans, strategy, and things like that. I'm not a tax expert, but they are. So I can bounce ideas off from them, making sure that plan aligns with their knowledge and understanding. It's an interesting relationship because investing in taxes, I think most people understand, has a pretty close relationship. But for whatever reason, a lot of times there's just no communication between the two. And you know who ends up paying? You, the client. So if you're out there thinking, I have a financial advisor, not sure if they're doing this, or if you're a DIY investor, here are a few questions I would ask you. I think that'll help point you in the right direction. First one is, do you coordinate with a CPA, or does your financial advisor, financial planner, do they coordinate with a CPA? I think it's extremely important to find those subject matter experts to be able to bounce these things off from. Second question I would ask you is, do you have a big purchase coming up? Sometimes you've got kids' wedding, you've got a boat purchase. That's going to require you to pull additional funds here in the future. Why not start planning for that? How are we going to be able to afford that? A, but B, what are the tax implications? Because you might have all the money in a pre-tax account, but if you pull that all at once, it could be a big tax bill. And the third, it was my number one point, do you have a Roth conversion strategy? So it's important, in my opinion, to be able to find someone who can bridge that gap for you and making sure that you're taking care of this part of your plan. Extremely important, in my opinion, to make sure that we take advantage of where we are right now with tax brackets and honestly, where we might be in the future, having that plan in place. If you're feeling really lost, I would let you know that we do offer complimentary initial consults. So it's no charge. Set up a meeting. We'll take a look at your plan, give you a few pointers, things to look at. Because at the end of all this, I think the main point to understand is you work too hard for your money. You've worked too hard to build up your wealth. Why would you want to give additional money to the IRS that you might not need to? Hey, Thanks for watching.